Welcome back. It's time for math, and we are doing 8-5 ways to move shapes. There are 3 different ways that we move shapes. Slide it, flip it, or turn it. And we're going to ask you to realize what the differences are. So when you slide it, you have it, and you just go in one direction. So you take that shape and you just slide it over. Or maybe you take that shape and you slide it up, or you take that shape and you slide it down. You could even slide it in a diagonal, but it doesn't matter. The shape stays exactly the same. It's here, it's here, it's here, it's here, but no matter what you do with it, it looks exactly the same. So if I have it like this and I slide it, I just go here. If I have it like this, I just go up, or I just go down, or I just go over here. But it looks exactly the same. It's just moved. When you slide it, slide means to move in one direction, just one, and it will look exactly the same. So if you notice, these two look exactly the same. If it started in that position, it's going to end in that position. That's what it means to slide. The next one is to flip. When we flip a shape, we flip it over. Think of when you are standing up, and if you flip over, you'll be on your head. So if this starts like this, then when I flip it over, it's going to be like that. They're like the mirror images of each other. Another way to do it is if it looked like this, then the mirror image will look like that. So see here, I had the short end at the top and the long end in the bottom. Now I'm going to have the long end in the top and the short end in the bottom. Do you see how it flipped over? It just flipped over. And here I had the short end on the first side, the long end on the second side. Now I'm going to have the long end on the first side and the short end in the second. It was like this, and I flipped it over. Think about I flipped it over. Here I flipped it over. Okay? And the last way, let's see if I'll leave that one there, is to turn it. So this time I'm actually going to change the direction. So if it's this way, then this corner will stay the same, and I'm just going to turn it into one direction, but it's going to take one turn. Think about going around a clock. So if it's facing this way, now it's facing this way. So it was facing this way, now it's facing this way. If I moved it again, so now if it started this way and I moved it once, I would go this way. So you're turning it around. You can see that when I turn this, this would stay the same. The whole thing didn't move. Whereas in this one, it had to go up and turn around. In this one, it just moves over. So this one moves in one direction. Can you see that? Have I gone out of my... Moves in one direction. When you flip it, it flips over. And turn it means turns around in a clock way. So you can see it started here and it turned around the clock. Okay. So go ahead and take out your paper that's 8-5. Okay. And take out all your shapes. Okay, you have that baggie of shapes. Go ahead and take your shapes out. And we're going to open up to the middle and we're going to look at right along the top. It says you can slide, flip, and turn shapes. Slide your finger over. It says slide the shape. And you can see that what they did is here's the shape and they just slid it in one direction. It went in a diagonal, moved in one direction, just went down. Now, if you flip the shape, it completely flipped over. It started here and we flipped it on its end. And if you turn it, it just turns like a clock. Does that make sense? So put your finger on number 1. It says use flip or turn. Slide, flip, or turn each pattern block. Then draw to show how it looks after it was moved. Okay. So we're starting with a triangle. Okay. So if you slide it, it's going to look exactly the same with the straight back, okay? Trace over that. Now what happens if you flip it? Well, if it started here and you're going to flip it, you notice the point is here, the straight end is here. Now the straight end will be here and the point will be there. Do you see how you flipped over? Trace that. And what if you turn it? Well, if we have it like this, the point is here, the straight end is here. Now we're going to turn it up. The straight end will be here and the point will be up. Okay, so the first picture you traced, slide looks like that. Then you flipped it, so we have the straight back. So on your paper, you should have drawn, that would be the first one. The second one is a straight end. The first one's not a very good one. This is Bedard. And then the last one will be, does that make sense to you? Good job. The next one is a little more difficult because it is using the blue, which is a rhombus. And they're more difficult to flip, slide, and turn, but we will do the best we can. I think it might be easier if I just try to draw these. Okay. How'd I do? So if I slide it, it's going to look exactly the same. It's going to look exactly the same, right? But what about if I flip it? So if it looks like this, and I flip it, then what's going to happen is, do you see how these come back? They're going to go the other way. So if this is leaning this way, it's leaning back. Now it's going to lean forward. Do you see that? Good job. Now the tough one is to turn it. So if I have it like this and I turn it, it's going to see how I had it like this? And I'm going to turn it up like this. It almost looks like a diamond. Try that. How'd you do? Okay. Put your finger on number 3. We want to know, is that a slide, a flip, or a turn? Well, let's look at that shoe. If it was facing one direction and now it's facing the other direction, what do we call that? We call it a flip. So number 3 is a flip. Look at number 4. Well, when we look at number 4, and it's this direction, and now it's just taken a quarter, what do we call that? A turn. That one's a turn. Look at number 5. Kind of looks like an E, doesn't it? The letter E. And then it's completely, what they do to it? They flipped it. It's a flip. And look at number 6. That shape is exactly the same. It's just moved. So that is a slide. So number 3 was a flip. Number 4 was a turn. Number 5 was a flip. And number 6 was a slide. Look at number 7. It says, draw the next shape. Well, the triangle's facing this way, and then we have a flip. Then we have a flip, and a flip, and a flip, and a flip, and a flip. So it should look like that. Oh, mine's not very straight. Straight back, pointing in. Okay? Turn to the back. Number 8, it says, Max has 4 shapes. He flipped each shape. Circle the shapes that look the same after Max flipped them. So look at the first shape. If you flip that, will it look the same? Yes, go ahead and circle it. How about the second shape? No. How about the third shape? How about the fourth shape? Yes, if you flip a square, it's going to look like a square. Number 9, Sally flipped this shape. Which did Sally's shape look like before she flipped it? So that's the flipped one. What did it look like before she flipped it? The answer is D. We're going to run out of time. I only have 25 seconds. So go ahead and try this on your own and send me a picture. That's kind of just an extra. If you have any trouble with your homework, go back and watch this video. Talk to you later. Have a great day.